Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk, brought to you by Konecranes. Our company operates in over 50 countries around the world and has nearly 17,000 employees that are committed to providing you with lifting equipment and services. Our goal with this podcast is to provide our technicians with a platform to share their experiences and insights into how our products are made while discussing what it means to be a technician. With that being said, my name is Isaiah, and I'm here with my partner, Tanya. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. And we are here today in Springfield, Ohio, and we're speaking to our HSE Director, Site Operations for Region Americas, Matt Ghiloni today. Thank you very much for making the time to speak to us.
Thank you for having me, most definitely.
It's definitely a pleasure to sit here with you. Off camera, we had a great conversation, and we're looking forward to bringing it to light for everyone to experience the same type of passion that you have.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. So let's get started here. Where does your journey start?
It's interesting you say that because I was thinking of that off camera, but I'm going to start the journey just with the Konecranes group. I've been with the company now going on 19 years.
Right.
Part of that 19 years, I was in the factory here in Springfield as the operations and the production manager, which I had safety under me. What happened was there was a couple years into my job, we had a lot of different incidents that happened, and I looked at the end of the year going, I can't keep doing this. You know, we work hard, we produce a lot, we did a fantastic job, we have great people working for the company, but this one year in 2008, we had 16 recordable injuries just in the factory alone. And got to be honest with you, I looked in the mirror and said, is this what I really want to be doing? So long story short, in 2008, I'd been with the company 2 years at that point. I went to my boss at the factory, and I said, we really need to do something more for our people when it comes to safety. He totally agreed and supported me. We created a safety position within the factory, got approval for it, and then I looked at him and I said, okay, I want the job. And we kind of bickered back and forth a little bit, and long story short, here I am. So I am in this position to help people understand what their purpose is in life. And for me, the purpose is to get home every night, to family, to friends, and enjoy life. And if I can get our technicians, if I can get our salespeople, if I can get you to think about that, maybe you'll think a little bit about driving safer. Maybe you'll think a little bit when you go outside and it's icy outside that you'll walk a little bit careful. Maybe you'll look at somebody else that's doing something unsafe and go, stop, you can't do this. Because people do get seriously injured and people do get killed on the job. And unfortunately, they get called off the job just as often as they do on the job. You know, because that's the stuff that we got to look at. And I know safety's a pain in the ass to people. I know that they think, sorry about that, I just said one word. I know they think that, you know, we're just trying to make their job harder for them. I'm not. I'm trying to make their job easier.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is all this other stuff gets in the way. The customer, sales, productivity, and maybe some off-the-job things that they're thinking about. We got to stay focused on safety to live our life in a way that we can enjoy it. This is a job. This is a job. Go home and enjoy your life off the job. I hope that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It absolutely does, yeah. I mean, you mentioned that like the priority is to get people home safe at the end of every day. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more important as that. But what are the challenges, or what you see as the challenges to really kind of sort of instill such a safety culture in the company?
So
not even just in the company.
Yeah, but all around.
Yes.
And I'm glad you say that because we really, the team that I have, I think we have a passion and a purpose. And what we're really trying to get across to people is this just can't be on the job. This has to be off the job too. Now, you can be a race car driver. You can jump out of airplanes. You can bungee jump. You can snow ski, all of that. But there's ways to do it that you can do it fairly safely and do it that way. But a lot of people, the challenges are we don't consider those day in and day out. And if we do consider them, are they more of a pain to do than just get this job done? Okay, and here's my point to that. If you're at home and you're walking up and down steps and you have the railing, do you always hold on to the railing? Many people are going to tell you no. What's the big deal? More people will fall down steps in the next couple days and die because they break their neck or they hit their head than happens on the job. They may be carrying something down with them. They may be in a rush and they're running up and down the steps and things like that. Getting people to think about those little things, that for some reason is the biggest challenge. Mm-hmm. I had technician after technician look at me and tell me, Matt, I'm safe at work. I'm safe because I know you're looking over my shoulder. But at home, So let me give you a couple numbers. Every day in the United States, this is just the United States, folks, 12 to 15 people go to work. They kiss their loved ones goodbye. They say goodbye to their kids. They pet their dogs and their cats, and then they never make it home. They die at work. 12 to 15 people every day. Okay, that isn't 5 days a week. That is 7 days a week, including holidays and everything. Okay, they're dying at work. That number has not changed in 7 years. We see a trend of injuries going down, but we don't see the fatalities going down. Why not? Because we're willing to take chances. Have you ever heard someone go, I've done it 1,000 times before and never been hurt? I ain't worried about the 1,000 times before. I'm worried about right now. Mm-hmm. And it does happen. We do have people that get seriously injured and killed. And here's the kicker. I gave you 12 to 15 a day in the United States every day. Die at work. 3 times that amount of people die at home every day, kind of doing work-related things. Okay, walking up and down steps, climbing a ladder to clean out their gutters, using a chair instead of a ladder to change a light bulb. You know, the electrical outlet over there, we've got to fix it and put a new wire in, and then they're electrocuted. Why is it so different at home than at work? Well, at work, maybe some of it is we do have rules and we have training and everything else, but why should that change off the job? It shouldn't. The challenge is getting people to think about this stuff before they do it. Mm-hmm. And that can be a struggle. You know, they're rushed. They got too many things on their mind. Their customers all over them. They're frustrated with the job that they're doing and they just want to get it done. And then they start skipping and changing or forgetting their PPE.
Let's break down PPE for those who don't know.
Okay, PPE, personal protective equipment. Thank you. Very good. So gloves, safety glasses, harnesses that our people have to wear when they're up in the air, safety shoes, things like that. Personal protective equipment that is going to help them. Won't prevent them from being injured or an incident from happening, but could minimize the injury. Okay. What we have to look at is how do we mitigate before that. PPE is very, very important to everybody, don't get me wrong, but it will not keep somebody from having an incident. Could minimize the injury, okay? And that's the other thing. We always go to PPE first. We don't think about, can I eliminate the job, okay? I want that pizza at night, but yet it's really bad and it's snowing out. But you know what? I've done this before. I'm going to drive up and get that pizza. Mm. Maybe we shouldn't go drive and get that pizza. Maybe we should just cook in for the night. Okay, we eliminate the risk that way. Okay, we don't want to do that, but could we substitute something? And what I mean by that is people use cleaners all the time at home. All right, you have 401 or 409 cleaner, all these different cleaners, they have chemicals in them that can get people seriously injured. But why not go to something more organic, that isn't as hard for them or that could hurt them. Then we go to engineering controls. Okay, engineering controls are things that we can isolate the people from getting hurt, but that takes too long sometimes. All right, we up in the air, we'll put what we call rail stops up. Rail stops will block a crane from coming into our area, but putting up rail stops means you have to lock out. You have to do all these different things, and the next thing you know, customer's upset with you because you're taking too much time. Mm-hmm. Now we don't block the area. Instead, maybe we just try to tell a few people, or we don't even communicate to people. Boom, now we've got cranes running into us. All right, all these different things. Where we usually fall to is what we call administrative things that help us mitigate: training, behavioral changing, rules and regulations. But which of the four that I just told you, the elimination of a risk or a hazard, the substitution of a risk or a hazard, or make something a little bit safer for you, the engineering control of a hazard, which blocks the person from getting injured, or the administrative, which is all about behavior? Which is the hardest is the three top. The easiest is the administrative behavior one. But me getting to change your mind or getting to change your mind, that's the hard part. That's the part that keeps me awake at night. That's the part when I don't have my cell phone on me. I took it off and put it over there. But when my phone rings, my heart goes to my stomach and I have to prepare every time. Is this the one? And, you know, it could be a simple question about safety. It could be, Matt, we've got an issue going on and we've got somebody going to the hospital right now. Okay. I didn't wake up one day and go, safety, this is what I want to do. Okay. But when I did wake up and say, yes, safety is my purpose, I have to take that responsibility. I have to take that accountability and do everything I can to get people to think about being safe. That's what I've got to do. And my team does the same thing. Okay. So there's no one hard thing. There's just a lot of hard things to try and get people to think about safety.
What are we actively doing to try to make people understand, to really kind of think about the consequences?
Yeah, boy, that's tough. We do, you know, our trainings have a lot of scenarios in them, and the trainings are real life scenarios. So we do a lot of that. We do what we call safety stand downs, where we send out the incidents and things that are happening, and we try to show not only what happened, but what could have happened as well. So there's a lot of administrative things that we do. While we do the incident investigations, we do look at engineering controls. What can we do better? Right now, we've realized that we have a lot of hand injuries going on. So we have line of fire. Okay, you don't put your hands where they don't belong, but how do we teach that? That's through training and different things of that nature, through the point of work risk assessment, but also the gloves. You know, what type of gloves are we using? And unfortunately, we might not have been using all the right kind of gloves. So right now we're piloting new gloves. We have over 60 technicians in the field piloting these different types of new gloves that are thicker, but yet still dexterity. They work well with phones and things like that. They're more comfortable. Technician's not going to wear something if it's not comfortable. We understand that. So we're looking at different things that way to help them to think about this. At the end of the day, I've got to look at you, and I've got to look at you, and I've got to look at every technician and go, what are you going to do to get home every night safely? And I got to get you to think about that. I can tell you all day what you need to do, but if I can't get you to truly get it and appreciate it, I ain't got a chance. Yeah. And nor does the person or persons involved.
Yeah, of course.
It is working and having that awareness day in and day out. Do you get in your car every morning and think, boy, I could get in a vehicle collision today? No, what you do is you get in your car and go, I got to get moving, I'm running late. Or, man, I'm going to be in really bad traffic today. You don't think about really bad traffic with a bunch of crazies holding onto their cell phones and not paying attention to anything. Think about, my job is to get to work safely today. My job is to get from point A to point B safely today. And start thinking about then driving safely, not speeding, not following somebody so close. Don't play with the radio. Don't talk on the phone. Get from point A to point B safely. It's the same way with our technicians. They've got to think about everything they do in the air, day in and day out, minute in and minute out. It may sound hard. It's really not. Yeah. It's really not that hard. It's a change of habit.
When you do like the incident investigations, is there like a very common cause, like what people say, this is why it happened, or this is why I didn't pay attention? Is there like
There's several. One of them is I felt rushed by the customer. Okay, I wanted to get this done for the customer. Our technicians are fantastic at what they do, but sometimes they put themselves above the risk because they want to take care of it for the customer, or they want to prove themselves. Okay, sometimes I do get this, is I wasn't thinking that. I've done it 100 times before. I've done it 1,000 times before. I never got hurt before, you know, and now it is. Every time you say that, your risk level goes up. Every time you do it in a way that you're allowing the risk to be out there, your risk level goes up. People don't understand that. Every time you do something incorrectly, especially if you choose, your risk will go up again and again and again, because you will take more and more chances and you will do it more often than not. Okay. I wish there was a way, especially with technicians who have younger children, or even a pet that they're really, really fond of or something. I wish there was a way before they got out of their truck and got into their place that they were working for the day, to turn on a little video and have that little girl or that little boy or that dog or whatever bark at them. And little girl or boy say, "I need you home tonight, Daddy. I need you home tonight, Mommy." That'll get people to think about it. Here's the hard truth. When somebody is killed at work or even at home because of an error made, because of somebody else's mistake, they're dead. And I hate to say it this way, but their life's over. Hopefully, if they have a belief, they'll go to a better place. But think about what they're leaving behind. They're leaving grief behind. They're leaving loneliness behind. They're leaving friends and family behind that have to deal with this. I know this is a true story. A technician, many, many years ago, there was another employee that passed away on the job with this technician. That technician was never able to go back to work. Now, was it because that technician blamed themselves? Was it because of the situation at hand? I mean, think about it. You're working with somebody 1 minute, and the next minute that person is no longer living. I don't know how I could deal with that, quite honestly. And that's something that we got to think about. I want people to remember everybody around them, how this affects them. It will affect everybody. You know, I can't express that enough.
Yeah, there it is. Great conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for this time. And is there anything that you would like to leave us with as far as advice for technicians out there?
I'll do this. I'm going to look at you too, but also look into the camera. Whenever I speak to the technicians here in the lab, when they're here, we talk about different safety things. We talk about driving behaviors. We talk about all this. But before I leave them, I always look them in the eye, because I want you to know I care. And I ask them to totally commit to doing the very best they can to be safe. If not for themselves, for their families, will you do that? And I need a yes, and I need to see their eyes. Okay? So I'm going to do it to you first, Tanya. I need to know, after today that we've talked, are you willing to do anything you can for your safety and for everyone that your loved ones and everybody else? Are you willing to commit to safety?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Isaiah, I'm looking at you the same way. I need to know, after we've talked today and everything we talked about, and you told me you need to think about your driving a little bit.
Well, that is true.
Are you willing to commit to do everything you can for yourself and everyone that's around you and your loved ones to be safe?
Yes, I am.
You are committed. Thank you. And I'm asking all of you, please, are you willing to be safe and do everything you can to be committed to yourself and safety, and most importantly, to your loved ones? If you are, thank you. If you're not, look in the mirror and say that.